Lewis Cameron is a very talented second grader from Mauna Loa School in Hilo, Hawaii, who could soon have his art on the Google homepage for millions of people to see. Hi, I'm Connie Vandeman Jeffrey, and this is All God's People. Lewis is one of the 54 state and U.S. territory winners of this year's Doodle for Google. The competition was open to students from kindergarten to high school, where participants were tasked to create their own version of the Google logo. I know you'll love this story, so click on the links in the description box to see the surprise on Lewis's face when he learned he was the winner, and to learn about his unique entry. You can also vote for his artwork in the final competition. Congratulations, Lewis, well done. Our Pacific Union Conference President, Elder Bradford Newton, returned this week from the General Conference session. We talked with him about his impressions of this unusual GC session and about some of the high points of the week.
Coming back from a General Conference session every time reminds me of the blessings of being a global church. As important as everything that I feel is part of our work in the Pacific Union, there is something unique and wonderful when I get to go and talk with people from literally across the world who share the same deep value and love of Scripture, a desire to see Jesus return soon, and that are engaged. These are people that are engaged in the active ministry of the church. And we're all here in one place for a very short time to be able to conduct business, but it's really the personal interactions that are the ones that are most memorable to me. So the high points included my first time serving on the nominating committee of the General Conference, and that in itself is a unique experience because you're sitting with a relatively small group of people. These are all the union presidents from around the globe, as well as other individuals. And to see the number of people there, it's only 268, it's not a big group. And to be able to sit with them and make important decisions together, that was very instructive to me in so many ways. But I think the thing that was the greatest highlight for me was the people that I met. The people that I met, not only in the nominating committee, but the people that I met as I would walk around the floor of the delegate area. I would start each day in my prayers to say, God, order my day after your design. And I'm always surprised at how God decides to do that, because it typically revolves around meeting people. And as I would walk through the area, and the North American Division area was towards the back of the room area, so I could walk in when we had breaks from nominating committee, be there for the morning devotional or in the evening. I would go through and deliberately find ways to make eye contact with people and to smile and to see what kind of engagement could come from that. And every day, at least one individual and I, we were able to talk together, to have prayer together. I really had some memorable moments with delegates, not even from our union, but people from across North America, that included talking with them about some of the needs that they brought to the session. We think of people being kind of one-dimensional, they're there as delegates, but everybody has their things that are happening back home that worry about them. I think particularly of one lady that I prayed with who was very burdened about a family member, and we prayed about that. I remember meeting a pastor of one of our academy of churches somewhere in the country, not here in the Pacific Union, that we talked together about his ministry there. And it just reminded me day by day how the biblical truth, our ecclesiology is, as Adventist, is the church's people. We are the ministers of God. We carry different titles, we have different roles, but all of us equally are called to be God's ministers to this world. And I must say, the thing that I left more than ever in my mind as I got on the plane, left St. Louis, came back here, was the fact that we are living in a tremendous time of mission challenge, mission opportunity, generational moment, really, in the leadership of the church and the opportunities for all of us to be able to be engaged and make a difference wherever we are in the great world Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Thank you, Elder Newton. We will continue to pray for the leadership of the General Conference and for you as you lead this union in the challenging but exciting years ahead. Both La Sierra University and Pacific Union College are holding their graduation ceremonies this weekend. College commencement is such a high point in the lives of all our students and their families, and we are excited to honor and celebrate our graduates as they transition to the next chapter in their lives. Links to information about PUC's graduation and schedule of events, and to the live stream of La Sierra's graduation are in the description box. In our third and final segment on the significance of Juneteenth, Elder Bradford Newton shares his insights about this important federal holiday.
Celebrating Juneteenth is a new tradition for our family. It is something that we can readily embrace because it is an important way for us to appreciate and understand Black history in our nation, but also because Juneteenth celebrates an ideal that is fundamental to the teachings of the Bible and at the heart of our democracy, and that is the promise of freedom. Luke 4:18 records how Jesus first spoke publicly about his sacred mission to save mankind. Quoting from the words of the prophet Isaiah, it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because He's anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free." Freedom is at the heart of Christ's message and mission. In Juneteenth, we celebrate a key moment in American history when, on June 19, 1865, more than 2 years after President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, the very last of those enslaved in the rebellious states learned that slavery had been abolished. 2 years. No wonder there were celebrations. I believe that we are each called to the ideals expressed by Jesus and to follow His example of proclaiming the good news of freedom. In our own lives, in our churches, in our schools, in our hospitals, we believe that God's grace is a proclamation of freedom for the human family that He loves so dearly. And this freedom is ultimately guaranteed by Jesus Himself.
Thank you so much, Elder Newton. This freedom is ultimately guaranteed by Jesus Himself. What a concept. There will be celebrations this weekend in honor of Juneteenth and graduations. And let's not forget to celebrate our fathers on Sunday, Father's Day. Wishing all the dads, grandfathers, stepdads, and men who are like a father to us a very happy Father's Day. Thanks for joining us today for All God's People. I'm Connie Jeffrey.